Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. I apologize for my delay in speaking. What you saw was actually not just me. I'm not playing my GAC just yet, but... Oh, okay. But I was responding to Rusty Jason over in the YouTube chat. And as always, we start our conversation, we start our discussion with food. And I'm going to say something that may be... I think I'm going to offend a lot of people when I say this. But In-N-Out Burger, it's not the best. It's a solid burger. It is. It is a solid, it is a good cheeseburger. It's got great fries. It's got okay fries. It's got okay fries. A lot of people will tell you that it's got amazing fries. I think that's not accurate. I do. Now, as we go ahead today and bring on the Nev, he's going to be joining me here any moment. I'm just actually opening this now. So the Nev and I will be talking about this. I'm very curious as to know the Nev's point of view when it comes to, what do you call that?
Okay, can't see your video.
Oh my gosh, but can you follow me on, because you know what, I started the live stream, and...
Yeah, that's why I wondered, I'm seeing the live stream and I'm like, you do realise you have to start Zoom before you start OBS.
Well, I know, but I had already started the live stream.
Look, it's easy enough. Just all you have to do is deactivate the camera on your OBS,
all right,
so that you can activate it on,
activate it on Zoom.
Zoom, and then you can use the images from Zoom to
start
to move forward.
Start stream. Oh my goodness. It is not a Going Nerdy live stream without some real serious technical difficulties.
These are not serious technical difficulties. These are going nerdy technical difficulties.
Which are serious to me, sir. I mean, you're right.
I love the notification. I love the notification that you put up for your stream. Nev will be talking about Canon, and I'm thinking to myself, no, we won't.
We'll be talking about Legends and Canon.
Yeah, yeah.
And Canon.
Because I'm going, any argument. I'm ready with the arguments.
See, I can't argue you, man. I can't argue. So hold on. What I'm gonna do is I'm just going to have multiple windows.
Why did you
because
just wait? You should have just waited.
It's true. It's true. I should have just waited. But
are you doing Twitch and YouTube, or just
Twitch? Of course. I'm doing all of them, man.
Okay.
I'm doing all of them. So I'll
watch it on YouTube. There'll be more people in chat.
All right. There are more people in chat usually. So let me do this. Let me bring up Zoom. That's my Oprah. Prettier. Hold on. Properties.
What if I don't want to hold on?
Well, then I've got nothing for you, Nev.
How about them apples?
I've got nothing. If you don't want to hold on, then my apologies. Not really. But yes, tonight is actually, I think, a really fun night. Because Nev and I are going to talk Canon. And hold on.
Well, no,
caveat.
Give people the context.
Old and new Canon.
Yeah, give people the context to
hold on.
Someone in your Discord asked for a reading list, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
No.
And as a reading list, you can't just say, here is all the stuff that you need to read. That is, I don't know. There's so much good canon out there that is, it's amazing. Right? And so, even if it's old canon, oh, this is my problem. Okay, I've got you set up on a different
Did you not just deactivate your camera on
Dude,
OBS?
it doesn't work. It's not OBS traditional.
Is it
No.
what? Is it Streamlabs? Oh.
It's Streamlabs OBS. I pay for it because it makes me feel happier.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh, there's the Nev. There's the Nev. Hold on. All right, so someone in Discord was saying, hey, give me a reading list. And there's no one that I know who understands balls.
The extended universe.
The extended universe like the Nev.
Mm.
Even my former, I like to call him my Sith Master because he's the one that really got me into Star Wars. And I've said this many times. So I got into Star Wars not from the movies. Although as a kid I saw the originals. As an adult, I mean I was a teenager or whatever when Clone Wars came out. And so like I saw all of these things come out and I was like, oh, this is fun, this is cool, I like this. But I wasn't like a huge fan. I became a fan when a friend of mine introduced me to Star Wars miniatures, the Wizards of the Coast board game. It's it's a board game. It's a tabletop game. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I'm gonna move over here just real quick. No. I always get started and I've got my heater on because I'm in my basement and it's freezing cold in my basement. But I've got my door shut and it's so effing hot with my heater on. Anyways, and so I got into Star Wars canon, and this was canon at the time, with everything, which is now considered Legends. And so I went through and I looked at Wikipedia. I went and I read all of the books. I mean, I want to say I read all of the books, and I legally found all of the books. Let's go with that. I did buy a bunch of them, so don't feel terrible. But anyways, so I got into traditional canon at the time. But what happened is when Disney bought Lucasfilm, they took everything that they had and said, you know what? This is no longer legit. We're going to start over, right? And so we have a very big split between what's now considered Legends and new canon, right? New canon is everything that has been purchased or that has been created since Disney purchased Lucas, with the exception of Clone Wars, Star Wars Clone Wars, the TV show, that is canon, and Son of Dathomir, which had been created shortly before the purchase, or was being created.
You're forgetting Rebels.
No, Rebels was created after the purchase. It was the first show to launch after the purchase. Now, before we continue,
Sure? I thought Rebels was halfway through.
100%. 100%. Before we continue, I do want to show you this. This is my opponent tonight. Okay?
That's all right. It's only got one GL. You're safe.
Yeah, and looking at his bless you. Looking at his actual list, you're just gonna see here in a moment. I'm not super nervous. Okay.
Famous last words.
Yeah, I know. No, they didn't finish Fate of the Jedi when they bought it. Right? It was all after the fact. So let's go ahead. I do want to try and get the this one last feat for the First Order Fire Team. I'm missing one kill for this, and that shouldn't be terrible. And so,
Are you seriously going for feats?
Not particularly, but since I started it, I kind of want to.
You started, so you'll finish.
Yeah, I mean pretty much. But I am going up against Baldur. Very excited to face this person because
Why does that name sound familiar?
That's my thought. It sounded familiar to me too.
I've seen that name before I've seen that in a live stream chat before. I'm sure I have.
I think I have too. I really do. Yeah. So, all right. Now, Nev. Hold on. First off, let me show you this offense that he's got, or his defense he's got set up. He's got balls. Bosk up top. He doesn't have a great defense. I have a feeling that he set a pretty awesome. I think he kept a lot of his main characters for offense, or he kept him for that back row. It could be Boy Dur from KOTOR 2. That might. I don't know though. I think I've actually seen this character. I'm pretty confident I've faced off against him before. Or I faced off against. He's been in one of the matchups, one of the 7 that I've gone up against. Whether I personally have faced off against him or not, I don't know. But I've seen this guy before. But it could be. He could be using the Boy Dur from KOTOR 2, which is the Wookiee, right? Wasn't he the Wookiee in KOTOR 2?
Which one?
BOID-DUR.
I don't know, to be perfectly honest with
It's
you.
been so long since I've played KOTOR.
Very vague. I'm very vague on
this is a brat.
Characters for video games.
Okay.
With the exception of Prince Zizor for Shadows of the Empire. I mean, everybody knows him.
So he is one that actually, hands down, needs to be brought back into canon, right? Zizor, however you want to say. I've always called him Shizor because it just sounds cooler to me. But this is my defense that I set up here at the front. I was a little nervous, but at the same time, I did put my crappy teams in the back, so I'm not super nervous. All right, let's go ahead and go. I'm going to go for an easy win right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. Set yourself up nicely.
I know.
That's what I like to do.
I know.
You know, and plus keeping an easy win, keeping an easy win on the back burner is always nice to have for immediately after a bad loss.
Yes, indeed.
When you get screwed
Hold
over
on
on RNG,
I just farted.
what you want is an easy win to stop you going on tilt.
So, Prince Shizor, he was the leader of the Black Sun.
One of.
Yeah, so, actually, funny story, just finished listening to Plagueis just today. Great storyline. Awesome. Do you guys like my shirt? I'm super proud of it. On a side note, I took a picture of this shirt. It says Dank Ferrick. Put it up on Instagram. Okay? I tag a bunch of people, and then I tag Gina Carano.
Nice.
Who, outside, I get a bunch of people who like the shirt, like my mom, my sister-in-law. I get 7 people who like the shirt. But then, Gina Carano likes this shirt. I'm like, what? That's so awesome. I was so happy. And my wife looked at me. She's like, dude, you couldn't have cleaned the mirror. Because, it's like a selfie shot with the mirror, and it's a dirty mirror. And I was like, oh, come on. I mean, I didn't think of that. Okay. Yeah. Love Gina. Okay, so Prince Shizor, however you want to say it.
Prince Zizor.
We're going to say it differently, Nev. You're British. And so, I'm from the South. Nev, now that you're on the stream, I'm sitting here, and I'm second-guessing myself. I've got a Relic 7 Jedi Training Ray. I've got a Relic 3 BB-8, 61,000 squad power. I'm going up against these guys.
What guys?
I'm going against, oh, crap.
It's just a nice easy bounty hunter team.
But do I do a full resistance team?
Well, I mean, Yeah, no. I would still use.
You've made me second guess myself.
I would still use because you do not have a particularly strong track record when it comes to RNG.
No,
and
I don't.
You are terrible. Everybody in chat, you and I both know that BB-8. Doing that is no. Take C3PO out. Me and everyone in chat knows that this can be done with 2 resistance, right?
Yes.
The problem that we have is you never use the correct kill order.
No.
Or select the right thing. So you should never be going in undersized. So if you've got not R2. R2 can be used for somebody else.
Yeah, it's BB-8 and Jedi training.
No, I was going to suggest GTR, BB-8 and Major Tom.
Oh, the trooper?
Yeah.
I put
Major
him somewhere else, man.
Sorry, Brigadier Tom. Oh, you put. Oh, right. Well, in that case, just throw in R2 then.
No. You know what I'm gonna do, Nev? I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm going to give myself confidence, and I'm going to go Jedi Training Ray and BB-8. Okay. So let's see. But I'm still I'm freaking out.
You just do your battle, and I'm going to answer some questions.
Okay, answer some questions. So
Grundy, what percentage do you think we have of Scene Thrawn on one of the new series? It's a 100%.
Yeah.
It's a 100%.
Yeah. So it is officially in the Ahsoka series. We will see Thrawn. Now, Nev, you've seen the what do you call that? Not the canon, but the rumored not plot leak. What do you the description of it, right? You've seen of the Ahsoka series. What they say she's going to be doing?
No, I haven't. I've been busy for the last couple of days.
Okay.
Today was a very, very busy day for me, which is why I streamed last night and got a little drunk.
Okay. What would a live stream without Nev getting a little drunk be? I don't think it would be nearly as fun.
That was a nice little 4-hour live stream.
Oh,
I did
nice.
my dailies, and just had a good old AMA with a bunch of people.
Yeah, I'm sad I missed it. So here's the thing. The new, what do you call it? So 54 with 2 people. I mean, Nev, was I wrong to do it 2? Or should I have done 3? You think I'm going to need those extra 2 points?
I mean, you could have got 54 with 3. You got 54 with 2.
All right. Good point. All right. So down here, we've got our first order. We've got a Basti Yoda and Old Ben. And then we've got a Shock Trooper. RNG did shine on me. It blessed me with its wonderful bounty. All right. Let's see. Let's go Shock Trooper. Who has he got? He's got Arc Trooper and Echo? Is that who that is? All right. And then up here we've got this. I don't know.
Is everybody else seeing a pixelated video?
What's going on there?
Is everybody else seeing a pixelated video? I'm just curious because it's pixelated. It's pixelated. Yeah, it's very, very pixelated and blurry at my end. I just wondered if it's just me or if it's other people.
Yeah, let me do this. Boop.
Because if it is, it might be your the bit rate that you're streaming at.
Yeah, let me make some adjustments here.
Nah, it's a good stream. Okay, it's a good stream, so it's just me. It's just my tablet. It's just my
Change your
tablet. Let me.
settings. Okay.
So let me see if it's my tablet. I might have to put it on in a browser.
So I've got it in a browser.
What happened? You just disappeared.
So I know I was making
Bring
some
my
adjustments. So I was making some adjustments because. Anyways, all right. So Carly and Mitch over on Twitch, welcome. So tonight, welcome. So first off, let's welcome. We got. So Solomon Grundy asks what I teach. Oh, I teach English to middle school students, which is I don't know how much I actually teach.
There we go. That's much better.
All right. So I'm gonna go in with Basti, Hyoda, and Old Ben, and then I'm thinking. Let's see. Basti, Hyoda, Old Ben. What are they? Stun? Should I go CLS?
What on Bast? That's a bit. That would be.
Is that overkill?
That would be overkill. Yeah.
Who should I use? Nev, help me out here. Again, now that you're here,
you could go Mon Mothma and a couple of rebels because they're always going to attack.
put them on defense.
You put.
Well, hold on. Let me double check.
Go and double check.
Yeah, I put them on defense.
Because it's a Basti lead. Obviously, they've got a lot of protection up at the start.
Yeah.
So, it's not that you're not going to win. It's just a battle of attrition. It just takes longer to get the win because obviously you've got to go through all that extra bloody bonus protection. So it's just it's the pain in the arse factor.
True. Yeah.
As long as you've got something with offensive capabilities, you're going to win that.
Yeah. So
there's no revives. There's nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Solomon Grundy asks if we can see all the D's again. And I've got to say, man, inapprops. Keep it clean. Right? Only Nev's allowed to get a little... I don't want to say randy, because I feel like that might be inappropriate. I'm not sure how the British use that word. Drunk, I guess.
That word was appropriated by
Was it?
Austin Powers.
All right.
It was appropriated by Austin Powers.
Yeah.
He stole it.
Okay. But is it... Yeah, anyways. Okay, so Bounty Hunters was a suggestion, but now I'm being told to ignore the Bounty Hunters. Should I go Sith? Palps?
For what?
For Basti, Hyoda, and...
Here's the thing, because I don't know what your squads are, because I keep telling you to do squad layouts, and you don't. See, if you had made squad layouts, we could just look up all of your teams in the squad layouts, and then we could go.
I mean,
that team
I
for that,
have
that team for that, that team for that, and that team.
layouts.
Show me your squad layouts then.
It's just that they're not set out for this.
Exactly, they're not set up for 3v3, and that is, I've got squad layouts for 3v3 and for 5v5 on all 4 of my accounts.
See,
It's that simple.
I just have all of like the meta. So you can't. Rusty Jason says you can't apply debuffs while they're buffed, or while they have protection up. Okay. So here's a side to answer a question that was asked in the stream. I teach English to middle school. I teach creative writing, journalism, English 7, and English 8. Right. It's just a regular local school. Tons of fun. I love doing it, but. I talk about Star Wars at least once a day. So, all right. So, what about Sith? Sidious, not Sidious. Revan.
What, Darth Revan?
Yeah.
That's overkill. You are talking about the Basti match, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If just you know what? Look,
First
it's
order.
a Basti match, right? Just go with your bounty hunters, but make sure that you're putting at least a couple of have you got Bosk, Grief Karga, and
Mando.
Mando?
Yeah.
Yeah, throw that in.
All right. So here we go.
This
did you hear that?
The squad that you're going up against does not hit hard. There's nothing hard hitting at all.
But
okay.
I feel emotionally like it's going to be a hard thing for me. Dun, 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 dun,
No,
dun.
what are you doing? You go for the person to get your contract first, you numpty.
Let's see. Dispel all
No,
buffs.
just hit him with the special. For God's sakes, you're trying to get your contract off.
Oh, sweet merciful crap, Nev.
Oh, for God's sakes!
I hit him with the special.
This is one. Yes, hit him with the specials. You want to get hit him with the goddamn special. No, the second one. Oh, for God's sakes! You're trying to get your contract off. So
yes.
You want to get as many shots on Ben as possible, as soon as possible. Then once you've got the contract off, you can pew-pew him. Pew-pew him.
See, I feel like I should have gone after Basti with that death kill.
No, because you get old Ben out of the way because the Amando's the only one that can shoot outside of old Ben when he's taunting.
I guess that's true. And
Yeah,
so
you're in luck. She's got so much bonus protection that you are going to be able to get everybody back up to full health and protection for the
they're not up to
for
full
the
health,
for the
though.
54.
Right? They're not up to full health yet.
No, no, don't pew her yet. Do not pew her yet because Bosk is not up to full.
Yeah, that's what I'm
protection
saying.
yet.
He's not up
Just
there
wait.
yet.
Just wait until he's at full protection, then pew Basti.
Okay, Nev, I can barely see. He's still missing some, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Just keep hitting her regular. You've got 3 minutes. Just keep hitting her, right? Just keep hitting her until the protection is at full, and then pew.
Okay.
There you go.
Protection
Now
is at full.
No.
I haven't
That's
done
when you-
anything.
That was when you were supposed to pew her, you moron.
I
Now
haven't done
pew her.
anything, Nev.
Pew her.
Which means when you say pew, you mean disintegrate.
Many disintegrations.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna blow her up. That's what you said to do. Hey, Nev.
Do it.
Nev. We're wearing the same headphones.
Huh?
We're wearing the same headphones.
Are you sure? Mine.
Hold
hang
on. I've just got mine turned around.
Mine are G430s. What are yours?
Yes. I think mine are the same.
Yours are G430s.
The difference
What
is
did you-
I've got what do you call that? Oh crap. I've got a font or something like that, and it's taking the blue out.
Oh, right. Okay.
All right, so it's all right.
So I'm just curious. How much did you pay for yours?
Oh, I went to Walmart and spent like $30.
I see. I got mine.
Yeah,
I got mine out
dude,
thrifting for
I'm-
$6.
I'm telling you, I live in Utah where no one pays full price for anything. Like, I used to work as a waiter, and like the waiters here, they get hosed because no one likes to tip. I love my state, but man, they are tight with their money, and so
Yeah, tipping is a culturally American thing. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
well, that's true. But-
Tipping is not a not just UK speaking, but European speaking. Tipping is not a massive thing.
Yeah.
There are certain things that you do tip for, but general stuff you don't. General stuff does not get tipped, and that's probably because people are forced to do minimum wages. in the
Oh,
UK.
gotcha. Yeah. So, Skin Galaxy says he or she, I don't know, new to the game. What pack do you recommend starting with? If you're gonna be,
Geos.
say that again.
Geos.
Geos.
Yep.
I'm wondering if this is. Can you clarify the question? If it's, are you purchasing?
Oh, if you're purchasing,
you're
I'm
purchasing,
no authority on purchasing.
It's that $100 thing.
The hyperdrive.
The hyperdrive bundle. That's it's actually worthwhile It's one of the few things in the game that's worth spending on if you're going to spend. But if you're not, right? Yeah. Yeah, you should always tip. I mean, if you're gonna, do the thing, I say tip, right? Just the tip. Just kidding. That's a Archer reference. Okay, so we're going up against Shock Trooper. Shock Trooper is got the Shock T, who has died.
Going against Shock T clone.
Yeah, Shock Trooper, Arc, and Echo. I think.
Oh, is it? It's just Arc and Echo, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
it is.
you could blast through that with CLS.
All right. Well, then let's blast through it with CLS.
I mean, me personally, I would just blast through. I would just wham bam, thank you, ma'am, that with CLS because it's an easy 54. Because you can chew through Shack T in quick time, and then it doesn't matter whether you go Echo or the Arc Trooper,
Yeah.
Because they're going to counter them.
Maul solo. See, I don't have a Maul or Savage. Savage. So who do I start with, Nev?
Shock.
Okay, well that's. Okay, now
just destroy. Absolutely, just destroy her.
So, let me ask this, Nev. Back to our question at hand, our topic at hand.
No.
Just relax, Nev. It's all gonna work out for the best.
I don't care. Stop hitting the wrong goddamn button. She should have been dead. And
so
you've lost. You're not going to get a 54 now because you didn't do it right.
Oh, but it upset you, Nev. Okay, so while you're venting your anger at me, what's your favorite Legends book?
Probably. Well, I mean, it's the first Thrawn trilogy and Heir to the Empire.
All right. I'm going to say my favorite Legends book, hands down, is balls. I always forget the name of it. No, I don't. Hold on. Ouch. Crap. It's gone now. Yoda Dark Rendezvous. That is an epic story, right? Have you read it, Dark Rendezvous?
No, I haven't. But I hang on a minute. Let me just double check where that is in the.
So while you're looking it up, so Dark Rendezvous is the storyline is I want to say Kestis, not Kestis. Dooku calls up Yoda.
It's set roughly 20 years before Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah. So Dooku calls up Yoda and he's like, "Hey, we need to talk." And Yoda's like, "All right, I'm gonna go try and end the battle before it gets more out of hand, right?" And there's a whole series of things. Yoda ends up on Sereno, and there's a moment where Dooku is trying to get Yoda to join the dark side, right? And it is epic. So if you've ever seen that picture of Yoda, where he's dark side Yoda, the idea, or at least one of the many ideas, I'm sure, came from this storyline, and it's essentially there's this conversation where Yoda and Dooku are what's the dark side going to benefit me? And Dooku's like, well, you can have power and money and all this other stuff, and Yoda's like, I don't want any of that crap. I mean, obviously he says it in the Yoda voice, yes, I'm attacking First Order now. And so he's going through and he's like, do all this stuff. And then Yoda's like, I don't want any of that. None of that interests me. And then Yoda says, make me a rose. Right? Because the House of Sereno has their one of their symbols is like the rose or something like that. And so Dooku's like, well, I can take the life from a rose. And he's like, no. Create a rose. If you cannot create the simple flower, then you can't do anything. Nothing you have for me, it doesn't work, right? I don't want this. And then, like, he just it's so awesome. It's just like this cool freaking moment that I love. Okay.
Yeah, I've not read an awful lot of Clone Wars era books. I've read a few Clone Wars era comics and graphic novels. Yeah. Just none of the, not many of the books. I tend to stick with extended universe books that are post A New Hope.
Okay, so like the Rebellion era after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. All right. I think, unless he's got some crazy powerful characters on the back row, I think Solomon Grundy might have a good point here. Well, slacker with First Order.
Take out that First Order team so you can see what's behind door number 2.
Okay. And so who are you thinking?
Well, like I said, I don't know what your squads are. I have no idea what you've got because you do not have squad layouts.
But I'm looking. So who? You tell me. Hold on. So let's look at this. I have to worry with Slacker. I've got to worry about, or with this First Order team, I've got to worry about counterattacks. I've got to worry about being able to attack the right person and debuffs. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use JKR. Or, I don't know. I think possibly a Jedi Luke and a Heir.
I mean, are there any Night Sisters? Because
no,
if there's no Night Sister squads, you've got Relic Bugs, right?
Yeah, but I've got my Relic Bugs on defense.
On defense, okay. See, and this is why I'm
let me show
remiss to say, use this squad, because every time I say, use this, you go, it's on defense. But if you had squad layouts, I'd know what you had for offense.
Okay.
Use that.
Nev, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to, over the next couple of days, I'm going to put together my squad layouts. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. So, Solomon Grundy suggests Revan, Yoda, and Third Jedi. So, I think my Third Jedi is going to be, what's his face? Baldy. With the white beard. Joe Liebend.
I was gonna suggest Ezra, just so that you could use his cleanse just in case Kylo throws up a taunt.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Rusty Jason says Jedi Knight Luke and Yoda. I'm gonna try that one. I do like Jolie. I like that Jolie's this crotchety old man who is just angry at everything. Right? Okay, so to me, let me do this real quick. So here's the thing. And when Disney first bought Lucasfilm, and then canceled like all of the old canon, I was upset. Like I was. Because as I mentioned, like I went through and I got all of these characters and I learned about who they were and what their storyline was and like how they did all this stuff, and it was really awesome. Right? Mm-hmm. And so when they got rid of them, I absolutely felt that, like, heart-wrenching, like, this sucks. You know, here I am, I just went through and I got all of these characters, like, I just learned all of this stuff, and now I'm empty because everything's gone, right? Everything's different now. Yeah, it was absolutely heartbreaking because you or I or whoever, I spent so much time reading and learning about these characters that no longer exist, you know. So I'm going at the bugs. I've got Treya and Scion, right?
Where's
That's
Nihilus?
I mean, I could use Nihilus.
Just use the triumph. Just use the entire triumvirate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, the Jason Solo, like when they came out with everything, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're making a new sequel trilogy." I was like, "Sweet, they're making the Jason Solo trilogy." I mean, they're bringing Jason Solo into canon again. That's awesome. That's amazing. I'm so excited for that. And then, like, it backfired. Like, they gave us, you know, Rey, and they gave us Kylo, and they gave us, like, all these other characters, and it's like, okay, where's the characters that I'm familiar with, right? And it was absolutely devastating. And then I gotta say, and I know that a lot of people dislike the sequel trilogy, and I think for good reason. I can totally understand why they think that, or why they have that feeling, because there's problems with it. There's some major problems with it. I'm not as angry about the sequel trilogy being different than the original, like the Jason Solo style storyline. That doesn't bug me as much as what they did with it. Storyline wise, there's a lot of holes, and it's bad, right? It could be made good, in my mind, if they just did a Snyder cut of the trilogy, you know. But yeah, like the Jaina Solo, that storyline was awesome.
You're forgetting an important piece.
The Yuuzhan Vong War?
No, you're forgetting one. You're forgetting about Anakin. They have a brother.
What?
Anakin Solo. They have a brother.
Okay, so here's the thing. I know about Anakin Solo. I know his story. I didn't read the Yuuzhan Vong War. I read the aftermath of the Yuuzhan Vong War. And so at that point, I was introduced to a Jason who was already bitter. You know? Who had already lost someone that he loved. So, like, I didn't get to see Anakin in this, you know, the role that a lot of people kind of loved, right? And it was Anakin Solo, Jason Solo, Jaina Solo, and then who was Luke's kid?
Ben Solo.
Ben
Skywalker.
Ben Skywalker, right?
Who was the apprentice of Jason Solo.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think a whole retcon needs to be issued. I think. Oh man. Okay. So here's what
it's already been retconned.
What has? The sequel trilogy?
An element of the sequel trilogy is already it's already been 2 elements of the sequel trilogy have already been retconned.
What?
By the Mandalorian. 1, Ahsoka Tano lives, and 2, Luke Skywalker's first apprentice is not Ben Solo, but Grogu.
True, but we don't necessarily know that he is the apprentice. We just know that he's... I mean, he's going to the academy. he said, I can train him. I mean, but that could be taken, any number of ways.
Yeah. I mean, if here's the thing: if all we're going to do is argue semantics, right? If the discussion and the argument and the debate just turns to semantics, then then every single tiny little facet can be picked at, and
True.
People trying to defend the sequel trilogy will not win a semantic argument.
Oh no.
The sequel trilogy will not win a semantic argument.
It doesn't stand
so
up.
if you go to semantics like, oh yeah, well, we don't know if he actually trained him.
Yeah.
It's like the implication is quite clear and obvious.
That
Grogu goes with Luke Skywalker and becomes his first apprentice.
True.
And in the canon, in the comic books, it says that Ben Solo was the first apprentice that he had. Now, here's the thing, right? And I make this very, very, very important distinction. Okay, of the characters that were introduced in the sequel trilogy can be made better.
Oh yeah.
Okay, they can be made better. Now you can skew off the current timeline because of that timeline is quite straightforward. Ezra Bridger in Rebels saved Ahsoka. Ahsoka should have died at the hands of Vader. She didn't. Ahsoka was brought back by Ezra Bridger. That's why she still lives.
Mm-hmm.
Mandalorian took Grogu to meet Ahsoka. That should never have occurred because she should have been dead. Grogu would never have been taken to that to the planet, and he would never have been able to call out to Luke Skywalker.
Okay,
that's the chain of events. Now, what they can do is they can make the characters from the sequel trilogy better by introducing them into a TV series on Disney Plus by giving us by giving us Ben Solo and Rey as children that Luke Skywalker trains. It gets rid of the Mary Sue argument regarding Rey, because she's then discovered at a young age and she's trained and she goes through the trials and the hardships and the tribulations that every apprentice has to go through in order to become a Jedi Knight.
And somehow her mind gets wiped.
So, what do you mean somehow her mind gets wiped?
Well, to get to episode 7.
No, the events that transpired in 7, 8, and 9 won't occur. But that universe still exists. The characters in the sequel trilogy would still exist. They would still come to be. Disney Plus can still have all of that stuff that, all of those planets and all of those characters that they created out of thin air. They can still have all of that crap, but they just have to tweak the story and start it from an earlier time period when Rey and when Ben Solo are children.
Okay.
Being trained by Luke Skywalker.
So, here's the thing. I think they can fix the sequel trilogy without any of that. Like, without having to go back and fix. So, on a side note, Solomon Grundy, at this point, I'm more interested in Star Wars canon than I am this game. So, I know that's going to bother Nev, and I apologize, Nev, but, this is so much more important to me, canon-wise. So
I can't believe you took slack around.
I don't care. So, canon. Here's the thing, Nev. Here's the thing, okay? You can entirely fix the sequel trilogy by doing everything that you just said. Everything that you just said. But somehow, Rey gets her mind wiped.
Why would Rey get her mind wiped?
Because then it's a force memory that's put into her mind. Rey is a Kenobi, or Rey is a Skywalker. Whoever the hell Rey is, it doesn't matter, right? Whether she's a Palpatine or she's a Force Palpatine, just like Anakin is a Force Skywalker, right? We know in Plagueis that Anakin was created because Plagueis was messing with midi-chlorians and there was balance, right? Like the idea that Rey is a Palpatine, Rey could be a Palpatine in the same sense that Anakin is a Palpatine, right? Anakin's clearly a Skywalker, but he's not really a Skywalker. He's a Palpatine. Well, he's actually what was his name? Balls. I can't think.
You're overcomplicating things, and you're getting into semantics again.
No, that's not semantics. That's not semantics. Well, hold on. That is totally semantics. You are right. I will give you that. But again, if you just have Rey be this character who right? Here's
the thing. It only works if you start with them kids. That if you're going to restart the clock on Ben Solo and Rey, you may as well just restart the clock with them as kids.
But it's
so
not...
instead of her parents dumping her on that planet when she's a child, she's taken to a Jedi Academy as a child, where she meets Ben Solo, and they become an inseparable pair.
Yeah, they're BFF.
They do all of their training, and they're BFFs, and when they get older, right, it doesn't feel like brother and sister are getting it on.
Which makes it way less creepy.
Yes, which makes it way less creepy. and the Reylos simply have to wait for the two children that they recast to play Rey and Ben Solo to reach, maturity. A bit like Ron and Hermione. I mean, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. If you've read the books, you kind of knew what was going to happen at the end of the series.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't picture that or think of that.
Yeah. I mean, not until book 3 where Hermione's like, "What's the love potion smell like?" And she's like, "It smells like dirty socks and poor people and cut grass," right? And then he's like, "Oh, wait, that's me telling people that I'm in love with Ron." And Rusty Jason points out, yes, Plagueis and Sidious didn't create Anakin. It was the Force rebalancing things, right? It was Plagueis and Sidious were doing some really jacked up stuff, and then the Force was like, whoa, slow your roll, buddies. And hence, Anakin was born to a, slave girl, right? But the idea that could happen again, right? Sidious was around for that, right? All of it could fit into the same storyline. It just needs to be built out.
Yeah, but that's changing too many things.
It's not. It's introducing all of the stuff in TV shows, right? It's introducing the stuff and giving it time to develop. Arguably, the only problem, and this is arguable, and I know half of you, Nev, you will clearly disagree with me. The only problem with Star Wars sequel trilogy is they didn't develop anything.
It was poor. It was poorly written.
It was.
The only positives to take away from the sequel trilogy were an excellent score and wonderfully beautiful cinematography. That was it, as far as I'm concerned. I think they can.
Han
Solo was poorly written. Leia was poorly written. Jake Skywalker was poorly written. Finn was.
Oh my gosh.
Finn was just hung out to dry.
Finn was hung out to dry.
Finn was hung out to dry because Disney wanted to make China money, and in order to make money in China, you have to capitulate to their culture, and culturally they're racist. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
like what they did to Finn was harsh. I mean, it really was. It. I really, but that's the thing though. I think. I just think that they could save it. I don't want to see. Like, I don't want to see just a whitewashing of storyline again. I don't want them to just say, "Oh, well, that doesn't exist anymore," or "We're starting over." I want them to make what they've done make sense, and I think it can be done. That's
it can't be done
why.
because it's not a trilogy.
No, it's not. It's a duology. Episode 7 and Episode 8 are the same movie. It's the same movie.
What? 7 barely makes 8 doesn't make sense moving on from 8 doesn't make sense moving on from 7, and 9 certainly doesn't make sense moving on from 8.
Sure it does. Episode 8 totally makes sense moving on from 7 because it's an immediate reaction to 7. Right? Episode 8 immediately picks up right where 7 left off. Maybe like days after, but it's pretty close. Malik Solo versus Lando, kill Han first. Done.
The characters are completely different in 8 from 7. The plot is the only thing that is synchronized between 7 and 8. That's it.
You mean the main part of a story? Yes!
Of the plot. That's it. Nothing. The character development, the way the characters behaved in 7 to 8. Nothing moves from. If you were to remove the plot, right? If you were to remove the plot, nothing would match. Because you'd be looking at Finn in 7 and looking at Finn in 8 and going, they're two completely different characters. You would look at Poe in 7 and Poe in 8, two completely different characters.
I mean,
Rey from 7 and 8, two completely different characters.
Nev, you're gonna make me go back and watch the films again. Like, I'm not sure I want to do that.
Yeah, you can do that if you want. I won't. I've watched all 3 of those movies each twice, and that's enough for me.
So here's the thing, and I actually feel really bad about this. Okay, so I do periodically review books on this channel, right? And I got an advanced copy of Episode 9. I was really excited about it until I started reading it. And then as I was reading it, I was like, I can't create a well-rounded view of this book because it's so bad. And I couldn't even finish it. And so I feel really bad about that because they gave me this advanced copy and they wanted my honest opinion. But I'm like, I don't want to just sit here and trash on a book and or movie because I know that there's going to be people that enjoy it. And I didn't think that I could give a legitimate, like a well-rounded review of it. And so I just didn't do it. And since then, Del Rey hasn't given me anything else. I think they're ignoring my emails, which is really frustrating because they're also the same ones that are putting out Thrawn, and I'm super excited about that. Yeah, Rusty and Solomon Grundy are just choosing my teams for me. I honestly, at this point, I just want to argue Nev. But when it comes to canon, new canon versus old canon, I do not think that enough has changed from these two, from Legends to now. I don't think they've introduced enough canon that will counteract Legends. I still think there's a lot of stuff that could be introduced. Having just finished Plagueis, I still think Plagueis, like the book, could almost completely be introduced to new canon as canon without upsetting anything. Right? Because in Plagueis, it's all the machinations of Palpatine, the machinations of Plagueis. It's the Sith side of stuff, and that's not anything that has been even remotely touched on in new canon, with the exception of we get a little bit from Jedi Fallen Order, the storyline. But like, there's not outside of like the Acolyte series, like nothing we've seen so far has been Sith focused or dark side focused, and so it's very possible for them to reintroduce old things, right? Now, here's the thing, right? Oh crap, where was I going with this? Yes, we've got the Acolyte series, which is supposed to take place 100 years before, or start 100 years before, essentially in the High Republic, right? What?
No, just when you say the High Republic, it's the High Republic.
The High Republic. Yes. But it could. Like, it could absolutely take... And what we see in the High Republic...
No one's reading it.
No one is reading it.
No one's reading it.
Okay,
so I mean, if they want more things to plop, then people will be like, "Oh well, I wasn't really that interested in the book, so I'm not going to be really that interested."
And that's the thing is I've read the books. I've read the books, and
I read the first two comics, and they're not riveting enough to make me want to keep reading them. So,
and a lot of people feel that way. Like that's the real problem is a lot of people feel that way, and again, the High Republic can be saved. They just need to start making some better choices. Like, I am, what's the word I'm looking for? Who's a hoarder? Yes, I am a hoarder on the verge of. If I didn't have a wife, like this room, or whatever I'd be filming in would be just filled with crap, right? Just absolute everything I've ever owned ever, right? And so they've introduced stories. Some of them are not good, and that's fine, but they can be made better with better stories down the line. Not every comic's going to be amazing, right? I mean, it's just it's unreasonable to think that every one they create is going to be a win.
Oh God, not every book, graphic novel, or comic is a banger.
Yeah.
They're not. I mean, I've read some absolute
garbage.
You know, I've read some absolute stinkers.
Yeah.
I've read some absolute stinkers. Some of the tales of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Some of the Dark Times, some of the Empire's End stuff. You know, not every single comic that I read, or graphic novel that I read was brilliant. Some of them were just meh. But the initial runs of those comics and the initial runs of those graphic novels was good. So when I got to those comic books, or I got to those graphic novels that were meh, I was thinking to myself, oh, well, this is just a one-off meh. You know, the stuff that came before this comic that was meh was good. So I'm going to go back to it. And what they've done with the High Republic is they've started off meh.
Which is...
Instead of starting off brilliant, you know, so comic book 1, brilliant. Comic book 2, brilliant. Comic book 3, meh. But you're like, well, the first 2 were good, so, you know, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt with comic book number 3, which is meh, and I'll read 4. If you begin with meh, you're not going to read anything afterwards. Okay? You're just not. You're not going to read anything afterwards. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I agree. I agree, 100%.
I'll give you a perfect example of I'll give you a perfect example. The where is it? The Bounty Hunter Wars, right? The Bounty Hunter Wars trilogy: Mandalorian armor, slave ship, hard merchandise, right?
Yeah.
The Mandalorian armor, beautiful. Absolutely, I love that book. I mean, chapter 1 is Bosk rescuing Boba Fett from the Tatooine desert after being spat out of the Sarlacc pit. All right, so you are just enthralled in that book. Okay. Now the second one, the slave ship, was kind of like, it was a bit meh, but it was such a brilliant and explosive start with the Bounty Hunter Wars that you were like, well, kind of hard to follow the Mandalorian armor, so I'll forgive it for being meh. So I forgave the second book for being meh, and then the third one, it was back to being good again. So there's 3 books there, and the middle one was meh.
All right.
But because the first one was so good, it's like I'd hate to be the book that has to follow that.
Yeah.
And that's all it was. It was just, the book had to follow. The second one had to follow a really, really good first one. So, but because the start of the trilogy was good, you followed through to the end.
Yes. And what they've started with has not been good. And so they're not going to follow. So from here on out, everything has to be like on par. They have to have like 100+ comics from the High Republic that are amazing, or else it's just not going to go anywhere, right?
Yeah, and they've already destroyed themselves.
Yeah, they've painted themselves in a corner.
You cannot introduce a character that's a fucking rock.
Okay. Here's the thing. This is how they fix Geode. Okay? Now, I will say 100%, I've read the book. Okay? Like, I've read the book. I understand what they were trying to do with it. Okay? And they fix it by adding Plagueis back into canon. Okay? This is how they do it. In Plagueis uses a group of assassins. I forget the names of them. I'll have to look them up. But he uses a group of assassins who can change forms, right? They're changelings or whatever, right? And it says in the book that they can turn into a number of different things. However, it takes a really what do you call it? Not a long time, but like they have to be super awesome and good at changing and holding the shape, or else it's just painful for them, right? But even the best ones can do it. And it even says the best of these assassins can turn into trees and rocks. No joke, it says that. Okay? So this is what they do. They bring in that group of assassins to the universe or whatever, and they say, oh, by the way, Geode, he's not just this rock. He's an assassin who, for whatever reason, turned himself into a rock and then got, I don't know, twisted by a night witch, and now he can't change. That would be way better than him just being a rock. I don't know. I really feel that that's what's going to happen.
No,
or I feel like
I was on the fence about reading any more comic books after the first 2, and then they introduced, a character
that's a
Geode that was a rock.
So
and the spacefaring vessel that they flew in was
known as the vessel. Yeah.
So it's like great imagination for for names.
Yeah. So, what was I gonna say? I really have you heard the story of how Geode came to be?
No, and I don't want to know it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. It's not. It's not. So who? It's the author. The author is actually a good author. Like a lot of her books that she's written so far have been really well received. This is the same author who wrote Fallen Stars? No. Oh, crap. Fudge Cookies. What's her name? Oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm going to look it up. Star Wars books. I think it's Fallen Stars. Yes, Lost Stars. Claudia Gray. Claudia Gray, right, isn't a terrible author. Okay? But she was looking for a navigator. She wanted a navigator who was the strong silent type. And her boyfriend, who clearly doesn't understand Star Wars or know anything about Star Wars, decided, hey, you know what you should do? Make him a rock. And they had a really good laugh about it and pissed off the entire fandom.
Let's make a character based on a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well thought out, isn't it?
Well, but that's the thing. The character is literally a running joke. It's not
exactly
like he's not in the book. He's not this major character who just shows up and saves the day and stuff. He's a joke. Like, and he's meant to be a joke. Right? He's meant to just be a running joke. Mm-hmm. And like I can as a story, I can see that. Like I read that, I'm like, okay, this is kind of, whatever. But like he's not a major character at all. Like he's really not. Jen over from Twitch says hi to the Nev.
Hello. Hello, Governor. Solomon Grundy asked a question. Will they bring back Barris? Wikipedia says they took her to prison, but we never heard what happened. Will Annie turn to dark side, save her, and become the balance against Ahsoka in the series? I mean, we I don't know. I mean, there's I suppose they could do something with her character, that she could become an Emperor's Hand or something. You never know.
Someone, I think it was it Solomon? No, Carly and Mitch, over who were on YouTube now on who are on Twitch now on YouTube, point out that they think that she's going to be the first Inquisitor, and I have a tendency to agree. In the Bad Batch, I actually think we're going to see her in the Bad Batch. In the Bad Batch, there's a shot in this last trailer where you see two ETA type shuttles or ETA type ships, whatever. The Anakin ship, right? You see both of them on like approaching Camino, right? And so it's my thought that one of them is Anakin and the other one is his Inquisitor. And my belief is Anakin was there for the trial, right? He would know that Barris has gone to the dark side, and I think she's the first Night Sister, or the not Night Sister, the first sister, right? I guess it'd be the first sister, right? Not Night Sister, but the first sister. And that would make sense because he would then use other Jedi to, say, hey, let's create this group of fallen Jedi who do stuff and kill other Jedi. I think we're going to see her in the Bad Batch. All right, Nev. 2,668.
2,668 is a good score.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about that.
That's a respectable score.
Yeah. Right, now I do have to give mad props to Solomon Grundy and and Rusty Jason, because without them just specifically telling me what to do, I would have lost. So I don't know. It looks like I'm gunning. If for whatever reason both of these characters lose, I could make it into the top 3. It's possible. It's not likely. But we'll see. I don't know. If Baldur attacks, he still has a potential to. I mean, I left some pretty crucial elements there on the table. So I lost some banners, so we could see that. Now, Nev, let me show you something.
Yes.
I'm very proud of this. Very proud of this. I finally got that Fleabag furball. Where is he? Tripio, Chewbacca.
Oh, you got Chupio, did you?
I got Chupio.
You got
And
Chupio relict. Nice.
and I finished round 1 of my activities. So, boom, I am starting the climb for Jedi Master Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited about this. Because this has been, it's a whole mess. It's been so frustrating. But I gotta say though, I'm looking at this, and what I'm doing is I'm farming these extra pieces, so I'm not gearing anyone up just yet. Okay? But I'm farming these extra pieces so I can really I can get Jedi Master Luke all the way up as soon as I unlock him. My thought is that even with all of this stuff, I'll be able to unlock him, but I probably won't be able to gear him all the way up. I'll probably stop at like 11 or 12 is where I'm thinking I'm gonna hit. But I've used SWGOH.gg to kind of figure out what I'm missing, and that's all I'm farming. At least the light side stuff. But looking at my roster here, these 4 characters are still part of my top 85. And my top 85 ends right, where is it? Right here with Zalbar. Zalbar is the last character, is my number 85th. He's my 85th character. And so what I've decided, I'm looking at like my bottom handful. And I'm thinking like I've got Sam Wessel and Greedo and Dengar in my top 80. I keep saying 85, but my top 80. They shouldn't be there, right? I mean, I'm not wrong in thinking that those 3 and IG-88 shouldn't be there. What do you think, Nev?
I don't think it matters regarding your current form regarding GAC.
Good to know. Good to know. So as long as so what you're telling me is you're giving me a green light to just go balls to the wall for the Ewoks.
Just go nuts. Go nuts. Yeah. I'm just looking at what Rusty Jason. What do you think about this tweet that puts Luke, Han, and Chewie down for the Afra book? I think, to be honest with you, regarding that, I think people are overthinking that. We're talking about we're talking about the character. You know, she's an anti-hero. She doesn't give a shit about anyone but herself. So she will, you know, she's an equal opportunity berater and insulter.
Yeah.
You know, nobody is good enough for her. She's not going to like or get on with anyone. Everyone is going to be dumb, stupid, or useless. So it's just part of the Dr. Afra character. Yeah. So I don't think, I think people are, reading. I think people are reading into that too much. It's not Disney. It's not Disney dissing Han and Luke. It's Doc Afra dissing Han and Luke, and that's exactly the kind of thing that she would do. You know, that's exactly the kind of thing that character would do, because she's an anti-hero. You know, she's not entirely evil, but she's not entirely good either. You know, so yeah. So I think people are over. People are just reading into that a little bit too much.
How far have you read this Afra series?
I haven't read any of the new stuff yet.
Okay, but have you read the first run?
Yeah, I read some of the first run stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so
and the crossover with Vader. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love Afra. I think
she's the only thing from new canon that I actually like.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. Having Nev said that, I'm right there with you. I actually made a video and I just finished editing it before we went live. It's going to launch tomorrow at 7, but it's the exact same thing. You've got to remember, Dr. Afra is a jackass.
Yeah, she's an asshole.
She is.
she's an asshole.
Right? And this again, Nev's right. This isn't from Disney. This isn't even from like Del Rey that is producing this. This is from the voice of Dr. Afra. She doesn't like these people. But if
anti-heroes are, as a general rule, assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, just let's just roll off some anti-heroes. So you got Dexter. He's an asshole.
Oh yeah.
And a mass murderer, a serial killer, anti-hero, because obviously he's just a mass murderer of bad people.
Yeah.
As if that's an excuse. Then you've got Jax Teller from Sons of Anarchy. Jax Teller is an anti-hero. He's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he's a big dick.
He's a complete and utter dickhead.
Yeah.
But he's the anti-hero for that show. So anti-heroes tend to be assholes,
Yeah. Yeah. And she falls in line with that. Now keep in mind, like Han Solo goes from being an anti-hero to a legit hero. At the time that Afra meets him, and this is not dissing on Han. Well, it is, actually. But he's kind of a poser. And I'm not saying that he went from scoundrel to a respectable member of a military group. That, to someone who still remains a scoundrel, they're going to look at Han like he's a like, what did you just do? All of that stuff that we did together, you were just trying to make good? I mean, come on. He's still Han. He's still a scoundrel. He's still that lovable rogue. But he's a lovable rogue. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Afra's going to see that and be like, well, this guy's he's a D-bag. She's not going to like him. But if you look, and here's the thing. People are taking that tweet, I agree with you, Nev, they're taking it out of context because what they're doing is they're looking at the two characters that she disses. She doesn't diss Vader. She doesn't necessarily diss, in that description, Boba Fett. She gives mad props to Black Kyrgyzstan, who's essentially her Chewbacca, right? So it's not that she's... If you go through some of these characters, she's giving mad props to who she believes is good. Again, because she is a part of the LGBTQ community, and she has mad respect for all the ladies that she's come across. And I think a severe interest in some of the ladies she's come across. She's going to talk about them in like a positive light. Oh, Rebel Leia Skywalker, Leia's... Oh, crap. Skywalker. Freaking... Organa. Oh my gosh, why couldn't I remember that? Leia Organa. Crazy awesome rebel, right? She's probably thinking, I would, I'd hit that.
I'd hit that.
Right? Because she would.
Who wouldn't want to hit that?
Thank you. Organa. I can't think. My brain. Speaking of brains, and a slight tangent. Hold on, Nev. Did it come up? It did not. Hold on. Boom. Boom. Oh, it's this. No. Balls. I created a tangent alert.
Did you finally put up a tangent alert?
I did. I did. Wow. And now I forget how to activate it. Oh, butt nugget. I'm angry with this because it's a good one. Actually, you know what? I think you might. Your face might be in the way. Anyways, Sons of Anarchy. You know when I stopped watching the Sons of Anarchy? When Lilu from Futurama gets stabbed in the head with a potato peeler.
Oh, when you're talking when
or the mom or the wife or something.
When Jax's wife.
Yeah, that's what it was.
When his wife. When Jax's mum kills Jax's wife.
Oh,
yeah.
Like I felt that. Like when I closed my eyes, I was like, someone's coming at me with a potato peeler. Like that's when I turned it off. I was like, I can't do it. I'm done. I will watch zombies eat people all the day long, all the live long day. But for whatever reason, getting stabbed in the head with a potato peeler was like, that's it for me. I can't do it anymore. I didn't even finish the series. My wife finished it, and I was like, how did it end? And she's like, horribly. But it was perfect ending for that show.
No, it didn't end horribly. It ended beautifully.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was a perfect ending for the show.
He died. Yay! No more evil son of a bitch, Jax Teller, and his kids. His kids go off with, with their real mother. With the mother of his first kid, and they go off with Jimmy Smits. To live on a farm away from all of the violence and the gang stuff. So for the kids, it was a beautiful ending for the kids.
No, it was. Yeah.
It was a beautiful ending for the kids.
That's what I hear. Skin Galaxy, is the $5 Kylo Ren pack good or bad? It's good. It's $5. It's a solid investment for Kylo. And as you saw tonight, Kylo is... Both Kylos are both necessary and solid characters for the future. I will again point out, though, if you're going to spend money, don't nickel and dime yourself. Don't spend up to like $75 and be like, well, I should have bought the hyperdrive bundle. Just buy the hyperdrive bundle. If you're going to spend the money, go all in, right? But like, I do think that, I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential there.
If you're new to the game and you haven't made any purchases yet, the hyperdrive bundle should be your first purchase.
Yeah. Because
all other purchases before that are kind of useless.
Yeah. The hyperdrive bundle is, and again, it's $100 investment, but it's, if you're gonna spend money, and I'm Nev is a free to play player, right? But if you're gonna spend money, we both agree that that's where you start.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
There's really no other. The other stuff's good, but it's just not, worth it in my mind.
It's not L'Oreal.
Yeah. Right. It's you want to buy quality, and if you buy quality,
you want to it's you want to buy L'Oreal.
Yeah.
Because you're worth it.
You are worth it. You're absolutely worth it. Where was I going with this? There was another question that was brought up earlier. Hold on, I'm gonna make Nev bigger. I feel like Nev needs to be bigger, because at this point we're just chatting.
Just keep massaging Mike.
Hey, keep it clean, Nev. I don't want my kids to see this. Why was Daddy massaging Nev's ego? What's an ego? That's not something I want to answer just yet. So, other questions that came in. One, yes, I have heard about Nanowrimo. For those of you, Solomon Grundy, I think it was your missus that asked that question. Nanowrimo is National Novel Writing Month. I have never actually written a novel. I've written a few things that have been published, like in the college level. I wrote a story about, what's that thing called? Tubing. Right? So like you go tubing down a river. And I went with this very attractive young lady who at the time and currently I feel might be the Antichrist. She's definitely an evil woman. Lovely person. Very nice. We've kind of grown past the let's rip each other online all the time. But yeah, I wrote about a story about how she was the embodiment of Satan, and it got published in my local college. I have written a few other things, but NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month. I encourage all of my creative writing students to do it, but it's in November, and it's essentially if you write like 100 pages, 100 words a day or 1,000 words a day, something like that. By the end of the month of October, you will have your own book. You'll have written enough words in a book, or enough words or whatever, to fill a book, right? May not be good, but you'll have written it. So that's like the key point. What are some other questions we missed, Nev?
I don't know. Do you have like a bot like RSG?
I mean, I have bots, but no.
Bots.
Like I'm looking at the chat. Let's see. Do you think, Nev, that Yoda will ever get his ship in this game?
Probably not. Probably not.
What do you think the next ship is going to be? And is a ship meta coming? A new ship meta coming?
There really, really is absolutely no way to tell. With CG, there really, really isn't. There's no way to tell whatsoever.
Yeah. It's hard to guess. I will say I do think the Bad Batch is getting their ship. I think we'll see their ship added to the game. I don't know who will be like the main crew. I could see like Hunter, Tech, and Crosshair maybe. I don't see Wrecker being very useful on a ship. I just don't see that as being feasible. I feel like he'd hurt more than he'd break more than he'd hurt. Do well. I just think that that's the next ship we're going to be getting. Actually, I think it's one of those original 6 marquee events that they mentioned. I say they mentioned, but that was unlocked in the data mine. Mm-hmm. If you look at the 4, I think the 4 are going to be the Bad Batch. I think the 5th is going to be old Iron Guts. What's her face? Fennec Shand. And then I think the 6th will actually be a ship. And I think it'll be their ship. Because it was introduced in the Clone Wars. So. But I do think that Echo will probably be like the Bad Batch Echo. I think he'll be I think he'll be a legendary character. I don't think Hero's Journey fits for Echo. But legendary character for sure. Nickel Rex, welcome. We're just answering questions.
Well, let's talk about this reading list.
Okay, let's go. What is your reading list?
About this. All right. Well, I mean, it depends really. Like I said, like I was starting to type in Discord. Mm-hmm. It depends what the person wants to read. Do they want to read comic books and graphic novels? Because a lot of the comic books and the graphic novels came before the books. Mm-hmm. The ones that I would recommend anyway. Yeah. The ones that I recommend. And then, I can give you because I'm not going to tell you, to suggest you read all of the extended universe would take quite some considerable time. Yeah. But there are some series and there are certain books within the extended universe that I can give you in canonical order. That you should definitely go and read. I mean, comic books. I would say, for starters, Dark Empire and Dark Empire 2.
Yeah.
So Dark Empire and Dark Empire 2, those are must-read comic books. So is Crimson Empire. Mm-hmm. Crimson Empire is a must-read. Then Tales of the Jedi. So 3 series of books. Now you can get the comics, but it's easier. It's easier to just get the graphic novel because Dark Empire is 6 comic books, and Dark Empire 2 is 6 comic books, but they do compress them into individual graphic novels, just like they do with Crimson Empire. They do a Crimson Empire 1, and then they do a Crimson Empire 2, and you can get both of those as graphic novels. And then exactly the same with the Tales of the Jedi. Tales of the Jedi is a much longer series of comics. So you've got the Golden Age of the Sith, the Fall of the Sith Empire, the Knights of the Old Republic, the Freed and Nad Uprising, Dark Lords of the Sith War, and then you've got Redemption. And each of those series get put into a graphic novel. Now, the Tales of the Jedi are essential reading for Jedi and Sith War from the extended universe. Absolutely essential, because it goes back. I mean, some of these comic books go back 5,000 years before A New Hope. 5,000 years, you know. So yeah, definitely something you want to be looking at. Like the Golden Age of the Sith introduces you to the Sith as a race, you know, not just a few hundred or a few thousand, but a planet full of Sith. Yeah. Okay, and they get discovered by accident. You've got a brother and sister duo team who are trying to make money by mapping hyperspace lanes, and they come across the planet. But rather unfortunately for them, they come across a planet full of Sith. So that's a good one. And then for funsies, I would recommend Tag and Bink and Infinites. Tag and Bink because it's a very, very light-hearted comedy comic book based on 2 guys that seem to be embedded in very important areas of the Star Wars trilogy. So, for example, a perfect example, Tag and Bink, 1 minute they're rebel soldiers on the Tantive, which is their ship. They were the 2 TIE fighter pilots. They were 2 TIE fighter pilots on the Death Star before it got destroyed. So there's lots and lots of fun there. And the Infinites is brilliant, because the Infinites is it's A New Hope. It's 4 comics, and what it does is it takes one thing out of A New Hope, and it flips it. So, like for example, so the in Empire Strikes Back, right? In Empire Strikes Back, Luke dies on Hoth. He doesn't survive, and it's Leia that goes to Dagobah to train to be a Jedi.
Interesting.
Yeah, very. There's so you've got that one there in A New Hope. Leia is turned, and Luke goes to start his training and completes his training on Dagobah, but Leia becomes an agent of the Empire. And I'm trying to remember what Return of the Jedi one is. For some reason, I can't remember what the alternate timeline is for the Return of the Jedi ones, but that's a good one. So those would be my recommendations from a comic book and graphic novel perspective. Definitely. So he says, I was thinking books specifically by my post of reread. Okay, so I have in front of me a book here.
No. And
this lists everything. And I do mean everything. So let's go. We'll go from A New Hope onwards. All right. So I would recommend Allegiance and Choices of One, which is this book. So you read Allegiance and then Choices of One. That's set very, very shortly after A New Hope. Then I would go with Truce at Baccarat, which is set immediately after the Battle of Endor. Then I would go for the courtship of Princess Leia. Immediately after the courtship of Princess Leia, I would go with the Thrawn trilogy. Then, once you've done the Thrawn trilogy, you do the actually, no, sorry. Before you do the Thrawn trilogy, do the Jedi Academy trilogy by Kevin J. Anderson. Excellent trilogy. Then you do the Thrawn trilogy. Definitely Dark Saber. Definitely the Black Fleet Crisis trilogy. Definitely the Carillion trilogy. The Hand of Thrawn duology.
Anything Thrawn.
Yeah. Then the new Jedi Order. That's the new Jedi Order's a long one. It's 90. I think it's 90. I'm going to minute count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 17, 18, 19, 21. It's 21 books. So that's the new Jedi Order, but it starts beautifully. Vector Prime is just an incredible book. And that series of books kills off main characters in the Star Wars universe. Don't bother with the Darkness trilogy, and then you go into the Legacy books, and then the Fate of the Jedi. That would be my reading list for you, mate. Start off with. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Whoa. Hang on. I've missed 2 important books. I've missed Survivor's Quest and Outbound Flight.
Oh, just finished Outbound Flight like 2 weeks ago. Amazing.
I've missed them. Okay, so Outbound Flight comes just after episode 1, and Survivor's Quest is. Bloody hell, is Survivor's Quest you would read after the Hand of Thrawn duology.
Yeah. So Heir to the Empire fits in shortly after the Battle of Endor, right? Is it within 5 years or 10 years?
It's I would say it's between 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. I say shortly after.
Yeah, it's roughly 5 to 10 years. Which is why you really need to read the Jedi Academy trilogy first, because the Jedi Academy trilogy establishes new Jedi within the Star Wars universe that will crop up in the Thrawn trilogy.
Yeah. So
that there are Jedi, that there are people that Luke Skywalker trains as Jedi at his Jedi Academy of Yavin 4 that appear in the first Thrawn trilogy. So yeah, it definitely makes more sense to read the Jedi Academy trilogy first before you read the other trilogy.
So this is actually what's interesting, and I'm with Nev. I think one of the most important series that you can read right now is the Heir to the Empire trilogy. I just finished. I say the Heir to the. It's the Thrawn trilogy.
It's the first Thrawn trilogy.
It's the first Thrawn trilogy. Now, I say that because, first off, from a writer's perspective, Timothy Zahn spent. He's amazing. Probably one of the best Star Wars writers. Period. Mm-hmm. I love Timothy Zahn. It's just an amazing book or writer. But here's the thing. Zahn, after finishing writing Star Wars originally, has spent the last number of years thinking about his own work. Okay? Now, and this is just any writer would do this, right? They would look at their work and say, this is what I did, this is what I liked, and maybe what I would change if I were to ever go back. Right? That's just a natural human reaction. Right? What would you do differently? Well, if I did it differently, if I was forced to do it differently, this is how I would approach it. He's then given that chance in Star Wars Rebels and the new canon Star Wars. Okay? In Outbound Flight, you have a character who introduces Thrawn to the Empire. Not to the Empire, but to the Republic at the time. Right? That he teaches them basic. He teaches him all of these different things throughout the book, and it's a Outbound Flight. I just finished listening to it like 2 weeks ago. Great book, but there are characters in that book series or in that book that are remade in new Thrawn canon. The character Eli Vanto is essentially, and I forget his name from Outbound Flight, but he's essentially he's this main helper of Thrawn. He's human, he's a smuggler, he's captured more or less by Thrawn, but he's used to kind of teach him the language, teach him the customs of the Republic at the time. Eli Vanto in new canon is essentially that very same character, right? I 100% recommend anyone who's starting Star Wars at all start with Thrawn. New canon Thrawn, if they're starting with Star Wars currently. As much as I do like the Legends, I think if you start introducing Legends material into stuff, there's gonna be a confusion. People are gonna be like, well, what is this? I don't understand. And I think that's gonna be a problem. But new canon Thrawn is, you've got Thrawn Alliances, and Thrawn Treason. Okay? That's where you start in new canon. Amazing, amazing books. They're Timothy Zahn at some of his finest, in my mind. Then...
Yeah, in my mind, it goes Timothy Zahn, Kevin J. Anderson, Kathy Tyers, Troy Denning.
Okay. Because we're looking at different time periods, it's James Luceno.
He's a good author as
he
well.
was one of my favorites, and
we'll do some show with his help.
Yeah, like all of my Star Wars books over here. It's James Luceno did a lot of Star Wars that was Clone Wars era, and great author, absolutely great author. But with new canon, always start with Thrawn. Period. If you're, that's nice. If you're
20th, no. It's not just the 20th edition, mate.
Signed, right? Is that the one? By the man. That's awesome. That's so cool.
I got it. What is it? It's to Nev. You're welcome.
If you are interested in new canon, though, look up the Dr. Aphra story is actually really good. The audio drama. It's essentially the comic books, but it's the audio drama. But one that's fascinating. Starting with Thrawn, those 3 books, Master and Apprentice is the story of Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's just speaking of Qui-Gon Jinn, I'm so happy he came in.
There's a little Thrawn.
So, and that's the comic book version of book 1, Thrawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's great. It's amazing. But Master and Apprentice, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon, and it shows different aspects of the Jedi. It shows who else Dooku trained. So good. Let's see. Dooku Lost Jedi. And I no joke, if you want to listen to an amazing audio drama, it's like 8 hours. So good. It's Count Dooku from like birth to being Dooku, right? It's Asajj Ventress. It's who's the one that they never the one that sets up all the Kaminoans. The one that sets up the clones. What's his name? His name is who is it? It's Balls. His name's not Balls. What? The one who sets up the clones. The one who orders the clones.
Sifo Dyas.
Sifo Dyas. I was like, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's Sifo Dyas. It's Sifo Dyas's master. It's so good, amazing, and it's an audio drama, so it's voice acted, different actors and actresses. You get the sounds. It is amazing. It is so freaking good, and it's Asajj. You get Asajj's backstory too, which again I point out, Asajj Ventress and Darth Maul, the two most devastating storylines in all of Star Wars, right? It's heartbreaking, their stories. So Dooku Lost Jedi, Master and Apprentice, those take place roughly around the same time.
Hang on a minute, I think I've got that book on my shelf. What's it called?
Master and Apprentice? It's the new canon. I think there was an old a Legends version called Master and Apprentice that was slightly different. Let's see. If you like, or if you're trying to introduce like a kid to this, there's a one called A New Dawn, and it's the first introduction of Heir Syndulla and Kanan Jarrus, right? It's their back and forth, and it's really good. It was the first novel introduced after after the Disney purge, or whatever you want to call it. But it's amazing. Inferno Squad's good. Dr. Aphra's it's fun. It's a really fun story. But then
it's on my. Hang on a minute.
Is it?
Look. Yeah. Look at my wall.
Is that Aphra? Yeah, that's Aphra. It's a good story. Like Aphra's, again, she's an anti-hero. She's not someone who's going to look at like legit heroes in a positive light. But absolutely fascinating. The story Bloodline. It's when the Empire, or it's when the New Republic finds out that Leia Organa Solo is the daughter of Darth Vader. I mean, solid story, takes place in New Canon, or the New Republic era. It's really good. It also is the introduction of the Resistance. Now, there's a series of other books out there. If you're ever interested in stuff like this, Myths and Fables, there's two of them. There's this one, and then there's Darth Legends, or not Darth, but Dark Legends, or Dark Story, something to that extent. And it's essentially myths about, or that take place in the Star Wars universe. Absolutely fascinating. There's all over the place. There's really, really good ones. So those are my suggestions. All books, with the exceptions of the audio dramas. I love audio dramas. I love like voice acted stories. My favorite audiobook to date is World War Z. Great book. But it's voice acted, so it's.
I prefer to read the books myself. Here's another one. Here's another one of my awesome ones.
Darth Vader's dark.
Silver embossed, and the artwork in this, it's the entire trilogy, it's the entire original trilogy.
Yeah.
Illustrated. And if you look, they take scenes, and then they're like airbrush, they're oil painted. The artwork in this book is just incredible. I love, and that cost me $2.
Did it?
Yeah, you know me. I like my $2 books, don't I?
I go to my local thrift shops and they steal it. Like they steal from me. It's there's too many good books out there, and too many Star Wars fans where I'm from, and all the good ones are taken. Those are our suggestions. Like
Star Wars Shakespeare, you can't go wrong with that either.
That is pretty good. I've got the original 3. I think they're coming out with like 6, 7, and 8. So
1 to 3 were available, and I have seen. I was in Barnes and Noble. I was in Barnes and Noble a couple of weeks ago. Every now and then, I like to pop into Barnes and Noble and just see what they've got in the Star Wars section.
yeah,
Because I like to see if they're selling like a mixture. and not really. I could count on one hand how many extended universe books were on there, and then everything else was just new stuff that they've done. But it wasn't like there wasn't a massive amount of original material there. Stuff.
So I will say though, that's about to change. Disney and I mean, if you have Disney Plus, you know that they're making some changes. They're throwing some of the old stuff out there. The sheer fact that Disney Plus launched Star Wars Vintage, and you've got all of the Ewok stories, you've got the original Droids cartoon, you've got that holiday special that introduced Boba Fett for the first time. All of that is now on Disney Plus, right? They're also launching a reskin, or I say a reskin, but it's a rerun of some of the more beloved Star Wars Legends characters books, like over the next couple of months. So if you are interested in some of these old canon books, they're going to be difficult to find, like used, because that's what people are buying. But there's going to be a rerun of some of those old books. So you'll be able to purchase them brand new. Not as like a 20th edition.
It's a bigger book, so they're using a larger font and they're just changing the cover art.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all it is. But again, it's a re-emphasis on, we know people like these books. We're going to give them to them because that's what they're buying anyways. So, and they already have the rights to it. They don't have to repay an author to do it again. They'll still get royalties, assuming. Assuming.
Yeah, so that there are certain authors that are owed a lot of royalties by Lucasfilm, and they're still haven't been paid.
All right. So one last question before we go: where does the Bounty Hunter Legends fit in by Anderson? Nev, I'll pitch to you.
Sorry, where does the what? Sorry,
the Bounty Hunter Legends.
Okay, so there are different types of this. So you've got Tales of the Bounty Hunters, the Bounty Hunter Wars, and Tales from Mos Eisley. Hang on a minute, let me just finish. I just need to quickly finish something up. I've got a fleet arena battle going. I just need to quickly kill this Millennium Falcon to get number 1. There we go. Okay, so you have Tales of the Bounty Hunters, which there's a Tales of the Mos Eisley Cantina, which does involve bounty hunter stories, so that comes immediately after episode 4. Then you've got Tales of the Bounty Hunters, which comes after episode 5, and then you've got the Tales from Jabba's Palace, and then you've got the Bounty Hunter Wars, which is a trilogy, and those are set after Return of the Jedi.
Awesome.
The best of all of the Bounty Hunter stuff in the extended universe is the Bounty Hunter Wars. So if you're lucky, I got lucky. I was able to get an omnibus edition. So I was able to get all 3 books in one hardback. It's not easy to find those things. Normally you've got to buy the 3 books separately in paperback, but they're very, very good books.
Yeah. So, well, awesome.
Oh, and the Bounty Hunter Wars wasn't written by Kevin J. Anderson.
Okay. Do you know who it was written by?
Yeah, it was H.W. Jeter.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. It's been just under 2 hours, and by the time we log off, it will be 2 hours. Hopefully you guys had a good time. I always love talking Star Wars, and while I don't always do well on my GAC, I love doing it. So, Nev, thanks for joining me tonight and putting up with my antics. Now, with that, guys, join us again. I think our next GAC starts on Wednesday. Is that right? Is another round Wednesday, or are we having a week off?
The join period will be Monday, defense set Tuesday, so Tuesday evening in through to Wednesday.
Awesome. So I'll live stream Wednesday night, and then probably Saturday morning And then Sunday night again, I'll probably ask Nev to come on and mock me for all of my terrible choices. So, but anyways, guys, thank you for joining me. And the Nev, thanks for joining us tonight. This has been Thaddeus and the Nev. Check out the links, guys. If you are interested in any of those things as audiobooks, or even I think I have some Amazon links in the section below, or if you want a Dank Ferric t-shirt, check out the Going Nerdy swag store. All proceeds go to benefit me and the Going Nerdy channel. One last thing before I go, though, guys, and I'll probably have to put this in the replay, but because I don't have it now. But our good friend Paul is trying to do a fundraiser. He's got a GoFundMe page. He's trying to get some teeth. Now, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm hoping that I can get Paul to get shark teeth put in. Like, if we can get enough money raised, he might be able to have multiple rows of teeth put in. So I'll put that in after the show. Check that out. Help out our good friend from the Escape Podcast and the Escape Podcast Network. So this has been Thaddeus and the Nev. Wishing you a happy week. Good luck this week. Hope you guys have a great week. And remember to always smile and stay nerdy, my friends.